Peter Pan and Tinker Bell is the next ballet that Ballet Palm Beach will be performing at the Crown Center for Performing Arts Rinker Playhouse on the weekend of April 14, 15, and 16. Hi, I'm Colleen Smith, founding artistic and executive director of Ballet Palm Beach. The ballet is, of course, based on the story of Peter Pan and Wendy, but also Peter Pan in Kensington Gardens and the play Peter Pan. So all of the thoughts and ideas have come from those three sources. It's not the story of Peter Pan and Wendy. It is truly the story of Peter Pan and Tinker Bell. Now, a lot of people don't know a lot of the background of Peter Pan. Peter Pan was a little boy, of course, that we know never grew up. He did fly out of his window when he was a wee one. Most people don't know that all babies can fly. Well, he flew right out of his window and went to Kensington Gardens and frolicked with the fairies for a very long time. And most moms will leave their windows open at night so the children can return, but unfortunately Peter Pan waited too long. He couldn't get back in his window. And so he went back to the fairies and he was adopted by the fairies because he played the flute so magically well. And his fairy was Tinker Bell. So that's the beginning of our story. The story isn't the same because the adventures change depending upon who's visiting Neverland. Captain Hook lost his hand in a fight with Peter Pan, and the crocodile ate it. Thus, the reason Captain Hook is so afraid of the fierce crocodile. No one else is afraid of the crocodile, only Captain Hook. Our story, of course, is told without words, and the ideas for each of the scenes came from wonderful poetic descriptions that James Barrie created in his novels. I think sometimes those are lost in dialogue when you have a straight play. You're not hearing the descriptions of certain things. There's a description about the lagoon and how you get there, and it's about closing your eyes and pressing your hands against your eyes and the colors that appear. And if you are there long enough, it will come to life. So those kinds of descriptions are really magical, and I love trying to turn that into dance. We're having a lot of fun creating this story, and some of it is, I guess the best word for it would be atmospheric, that we're creating these scenes of movement that I hope will help people to visualize these gorgeous words, because the words in the book are so beautifully written. So as we've put this ballet together with the contribution of the dancers and the selection of music, then the whole thing takes form. I wanted music that was a little more contemplative, and if you look at the history of James Barrie and what happened in his life, there's a lot of melancholy. There's always a little yearning in Peter Pan. He's always looking for his mother, and I think James Barrie was always looking for his mother. James Barrie's older brother died when James Barrie was a little boy, and he always suffered because of that, because his mother never stopped grieving for that lost boy. And I think in James Barrie's case, his relationship with his mother was an overarching theme in all of his work. In all of Pan's relationships, he's looking for a mother, and the women in his story are all women who would like something more from Peter Pan, a little romance perhaps. But Peter Pan does not understand that romance because he's always looking for his mother too, just like James Barrie. Bringing the character of Peter Pan to life is easy when you have someone like Jay Markov who's doing the role. First of all, he just looks like Peter Pan. You always think of Peter Pan as a pixie-faced blonde boy, and that's who our Peter Pan is. And Jay's a marvelous dancer, so he's bringing his own contribution of the way he moves, and then working with me and collaborating to create movement that suits the character and suits Jay. Tinker Bell is like all fairies, small. When you're small, you can only have one thought at a time. That's what it says in the book. And so Tinker Bell is either fantastically fabulous and feisty and fun and in love with Peter Pan, or she's having a jealous moment. But Tinker Bell is fiercely loyal to Peter Pan because he is her boy. Lily Loveland is playing Tinker Bell, and of course she's highly capable of bringing just about any character to life that we ask her to do. And she's having a lot of fun, and again, contributing a lot to how this character develops and moves. And so we're having a lot of fun with those two characters, but all of the characters, Captain Hook and Smee and the mermaid. These are all fabulous dancers in the company, and they're doing a fabulous job bringing things to life through their movement and their contribution as artists. All the dancers in this company are wonderful collaborators. Creating a ballet isn't just about choreographing, it's about seeking out some meaning to present on the stage, selecting music, choosing costuming, creating that costuming with friends and designers, and then the choreography. And without the dancers of this company collaborating with me and being willing to get in the studio and create, this wouldn't ever come to life. So the collaboration of all of these people is what makes Ballet Palm Beach create anything, and in this case, most definitely this ballet. They're not afraid to take incredible, fun, silly risk. It's a joy to get in the studio and work with them. This ballet, first of all, the intention was to present it in 2020, and we got about 3 weeks into the beginning of the work, and it didn't happen. And then we were going to present it in October of 2021, and unfortunately, because of the COVID restrictions, we couldn't present it then. So there's been a lot of stops and starts, but there's been a lot of interest from the very beginning, and I'm very grateful to our board and the donors who have continued to support the idea of this work. And I'm thrilled that the Kravis Center is going to present it as part of the Star Series at Rinker Playhouse on April 14th at 10:30 in the morning. So it'll be our first school performance since the lockdowns for COVID, and I'm very excited that we're being supported by the Kravis Center and all of our other wonderful donors and patrons. So thank you, and come see us at the theater. I hope everybody will come and see Peter Pan and Tinkerbell. Thank you.